All right, new game in order. We back like the Juggernaut, Mitch. We're switching topics. I had something planned, but our new member Khalif came up with something, and I'm gonna give him the floor. He'll kind of like lay down the foundation, and he'll ask everybody questions. So Khalif, you got.
All right. So this topic, this actually happened a couple weeks ago, and it's been burning a hole in me because I haven't had a chance to ask anybody what they thought. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay down the foundation. So I was watching ESPN the other day, and they had a program, showing Heroes of the Storm, and it was on ESPN. It was a couple hours long, and if y'all don't know Colin Cowherd, he used to be on Sports Nation. Colin Cowherd. It's Cowherd. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll see, because that's how I originally saw the video. He was, he basically was on the air on his, because he has a radio show that he does in the morning, and he was talking to on the show, and he was saying that if ESPN ever made him cover a gaming event, that he would flat out retire. And he was real disrespectful about it. He was, and he's an older guy, so I don't think he's ever played a game in his life. But I say that to say this, or to ask this. Do you guys consider gaming a sport?
I'll jump in just to get my opinion out the way. I feel like it's more of a skill than a sport.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like with a sport, it's more physical activity. In my opinion, I feel it's a skill and not a sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone else can jump in after Khalif makes his statement. Good.
Yeah, and I was actually, when I saw this, I looked up the definition of sport. And I'm bringing it up right now. So the definition of a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against one another. So in my opinion, gaming is not a sport in a traditional sense because it's not physical. But I'll go into mine and you guys go ahead. But I wanted to put that what the sport actually is.
But can I jump in?
I think it's a gaming is a sport because you have to have mental focus, great reflexes, which is all physical, and great skill to defeat a group of other humans and to achieve a goal. It's just like any other sport.
Let him finish.
It is. It's just like any other sport. Just because they don't suit up, quote unquote, and there are a lot of sports, physical sports, quote unquote, physical sports where you don't suit up. Tennis. What's the damn shit called in the Winter Olympics where they fucking curling?
Yeah, curling.
Yeah. Now, come on now. Gaming is a sport. There is billions of dollars in gaming and millions of dollars in major league gaming. It's a sport in every sense of the word, in my opinion.
Okay, Shinwar, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to piggyback on what he said. Based off of what Khalif definition just said, the only physical thing you're going in about it is holding a controller. That's as physical you're gonna get. But that's just like saying bowling. Is bowling a sport or a skill?
Right. Man, you took
but
my
they have
example.
leagues. They have leagues, and it's organized.
I think just real quick with bowling, I think it's a sport because you're getting physical, with throwing a ball, but I think it's more so skill. You know what I'm saying? And just like basketball is a sport, but you also need skill because it definitely takes a toll on your body. Just going off of that definition, but then you can look at eSports, which is electronic sports. So I think that puts that in the category of eSports instead of just saying sports by itself. But that's just my opinion.
All right, on your knees. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think it's a sport, but it's still competitive.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and there's still a big demand for it. I don't really get the excitement people get from watching people play those games, but there is a demand for it, so more power to them. It makes shit tons of money. How there was the pro players in like League of Legends, like millions. There was a thing where they had the prize I think was over $2 million in the past year. It's fucking crazy.
What the hell?
I know, right? We got into the wrong thing.
Takuma,
Ain't too late.
Takuma,
All
your
right,
thoughts?
gaming is a skill because it only works out hand-eye coordination and it makes you think. It challenges your brain. It makes you do certain things. Yeah, it brings in a lot of money, and there are people who play professionally, but gaming as a sport, I don't see it unless they make it like virtual reality where we actually put on like a helmet or something like that. We actually get to the game. That'd be the only way I see it being of a sport, but gaming's a skill.
Okay, who else hasn't gone out of the group?
Well, I was gonna say,
yeah.
by Khalif's definition, it falls into it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say it's a flat-out sport because it's not as physical because you're using your hands. You know,
I'm not
dexterity.
making this comment. It's a good comment. It could be considered a sport, but to me, it's a skill. 'Cause it's like I don't see nobody getting up putting gym clothes on their shirt, like
Oh,
yeah,
yo, they working up a sweat holding that controller.
Shut
Yo,
up.
hold on.
don't beat somebody ass, like you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's
controller, you know, just no.
yeah, I think it's more like okay,
Shut
the
up.
physical portion of it is not is at a different degree as to other sports in comparison. But you know, it's more skill based, so naturally people aren't gonna identify it as a sport. But you know, by that definition, it requires skill and physical exertion, but the exertion is not as demanding as other categories. So I'm kind of more leaning towards skill. But if you go by the word to the letter, it's you can kind of consider it a sport, but just you know, folks don't see it at the same degree, so to speak. So that's all I got to say on it.
Let me put my 2 cents before I let Khalif close out the segment with that.
And I didn't
Well,
go.
all right, go then. Go.
No,
Go.
I'm gonna
Go.
go after you. I'm gonna go after you.
I'll make mine quick.
Me too.
I just think if you could gain work visa in a game and live off of that shit, just like every other sport, you get paid money. Depending if you suck, depending if you got injured, you get paid. That's just it. You get paid to sit on the bench, whatever the fuck. And in my opinion, gaming now, not back then, gaming now has evolved. Whether if it's a computer game, console game, VR, it has evolved to the point where, okay, now let's put this on the map. There's a kid right now in Korea, I believe he's 23 as of right now. He has retired. He only's been competing for 3 years. He makes more money than a regular fucking athlete by sitting on his ass and doing nothing but fucking streaming and playing goddamn StarCraft 2. More money than a fucking athlete. Right then and there, I believe that it can be put in a categorized as a sport because you got to do a lot of stuff, a lot of involvement. You do have to wear uniform. Of course, sports, you wear your uniform unless if you're playing like shitty golf or you're just wearing advertisement or whatever the fuck. And like I said, you're putting a lot. It's too much more mental focus than physical focus because it's depending if you're on the keyboard or on an arcade stick or depending, whatever. But it's a lot of mental thinking, and sometimes it's more thinking process than a regular sport. So I think like shit, this dude can make more money than a regular athlete, and he didn't run 100 yards, never shot a ball in his life, never kicked a ball in his life. Fuck, I think that's a good life. Shit.
All right, well, hey, you know what? For the YouTube folks, please leave your comments below because Khalif did bring a very interesting.
That was a good topic.
And
good
Noob,
topic.
go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like on the fence after hearing y'all. I was gonna say no at first, but I'm kind of on the fence because a lot of sports, you hear a lot of the professionals say, a big part of sports is the mental aspect.
No, not to cut you off. One of the Capital C made a good point. NASCAR is considered a sport, and they sit there and drive.
Well,
but you know, and even
Yeah.
that, I think that's more of a skill.
Yeah, I
But
believe
they
it. I
can-
believe
But
it.
if they
to be a
consider
skill.
NASCAR a sport, then they should consider gaming a sport.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
I
just
can
saying
race-
because
yeah.
they just sit there. Technically, if you take
I just think you're being racist against white people, Alex.
unbelievable.
You know
No,
what
I'm
I'm
saying
saying.
if you think about it, yeah, if you think about it, if you sit and playing Forza with the freaking, steering wheel or Connect and whatnot, and you're doing the same thing as some NASCAR folks, and you're competing, you can consider that. a sport.
Driving car is much different than a simulation, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way different.
Yeah, but
No, you get the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm
We
saying?
do,
Like
but we just
it's
don't-
more of
we
a
don't
skill,
care.
like Shinwar said. You know what I mean? And they're getting paid and endorsements and all that. It's another form of sports that's just not as physical. That's the bottom line.
All right.
Getting beat. No.
Go ahead, Noob. Finish your statement.
Yeah, we should wrap up
Yeah.
for time.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I mean, there's aspects of it where I can see it's a sport. I think what really separates us from sports is that sports are a particular event at a particular place with a particular time with particular rules that are pretty much universal across that sport most of the time. Like basketball, the rules are the rules. With gaming, it depends on the game I'm playing. It depends on, what kind of tournament. Are we doing best out of 5? Are we doing 1v1? Are we doing teams? I think it's lacking too much definition.
Okay, I mean that's fair enough. Hopefully, the YouTube folks, when they see this video, they can weigh in, and R2 gamers, other forums and stuff like that. We'll find out what they think. So Nelson, you bring the segment to a close, and thank you, Khalid, for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Let me put mine in there, man. Let me put my 2 cents up in here real
Yeah.
quick.
All right.
So like I said, with the definition of that I just gave y'all, it's not my definition. I went straight to Google, and that's the definition of sport. So the physical aspect is exactly why I don't consider it a sport. But with that being said, I don't consider NASCAR a sport. I don't consider bowling to be a traditional sport or golf to be a traditional sport. But to actually get back to why the topic came up with it being on ESPN. That's kind of what the whole thing came from, because Colin, like I said, was real disrespectful with how he was with his tone and how he was talking about it, and he even had a jab or two to throw at his idea of gamers living in their mom's basement and all types of just disrespectful, ignorant
Yeah,
stuff.
he can
So-
suck one. He
so-
can suck
Hold
one.
on.
So
I'll tell him to his
Alex,
face.
so
speaks from experience on that, people. Relax.
so
Getting
so
on.
with that being said, with that being said.
All right, let him finish. Go ahead.
With that being said, man, I don't have a problem at all with gaming events being on ESPN. I actually hope that more gaming. I don't even know what the game is that they were playing. I don't know anything about it, but it is good to see gaming, on ESPN, because the ESPN stands for entertainment and sports. So it's not just sports that are on ESPN. You have spelling bees on ESPN. You have all types of shit that's
But then
not.
hold on, Khalif. Why isn't WWE on ESPN?
Well, I think that's a technical thing. They don't. I think that's
That's
just
a money thing. That's
yeah,
straight
I
up
think
money.
exactly. I think
Yeah.
but they do have wrestlers, doing
Right.
interviews and stuff on ESPN at sometimes, and when WrestleMania or something goes down, they kind of cover a little bit of what's going on. But that's just a technical thing. If you ask me, that it's just with them being
Whoever
exclusive
picks
to the
up
network.
gaming on TV
Gotcha.
again, they're gonna win, yo.
Definitely.
What was that G4? I
G4,
used to like that.
G4.
It just wasn't. We weren't there yet, technology wise. Now,
Right.
if you could take that stuff that we have to watch on Twitch, like these tournaments, and put it on a TV network,
Hey,
yo,
man.
And
I
make
don't think
money.
I don't think it'll make money. It's all about on demand now. Who watches TV anymore?
you're right. I hadn't had
Very-
cable in 4 years.
Very
Hello.
true.
Yeah.
one quick thing though that Playboy brought up is poker a sport.
Right, they show
What?
poker. They
don't
put
think it's
poker
sport?
on ESPN.
Yeah.
They put spelling
I know the
bees on
Joker.
ESPN. So why not gaming on ESPN? Is my
Well,
take.
Poker's
Well,
fun
they
as hell
did.
to watch. I don't
They-
know what it is, but poker's fun to watch.
They did
It
actually
is
put
fun,
gaming on
poker is
ESPN.
real
They
fun
put
to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's just really entertaining. I think being able to, they don't do it live. If it was live, it'd be very boring to watch. But since they don't do it live, they can cut out all the long pauses and make it much more exciting. So
Come on, James.
Okay. All right, but
We'll
yeah,
get it.
Alex, put it
Alright.
to a close.
Okay, so thank you guys. Again, thanks Khalif for bringing up such a topic that can go on for forever. I mean, everybody, it's highly debatable, but we can. I just want to see what everybody thinks on the YouTube, and those who are gonna watch the extended raw cut, you know,
Oh yeah.
just hang in there. All right. So with that, we're gonna move into PSAs on our final segment. Anything that the staff members want to bring up, within the confines of time, we'll go from there. So make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, our Facebook page, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next segment. And again, check out the other segments. You might have something that appeals to you guys. So this has been Alex Lexus, the Nelson, New Game Order staff. We'll see you on the next topic. Peace.
Is that you, Chris?